Hello everyone, and welcome to the series premiere of Star Trek Honasto, a 25th century Klingon-specific game of Star Trek adventures. My name is ELH, the Game Master for this evening, and tonight I am joined by four lovely new individuals who we'll get to meet right now. So I'm just going to go down the line, and if each of you could introduce yourself, give us a brief introduction to your character, and then we'll just sort of run the intro. So let's start with Mr. Steadfast Pig.
Hello, that is me. I am Steadfast Pig, and I will be playing Brigadier Akrak, the House of Koloth. I will be the fleet's general, fleet command attaché, and lovely old guy. And I'm excited to be here.
Lovely. Kern, if you want to go next.
I'll be playing Captain Dagon, son of Ken, and I'm happy to be here too.
All right. I always wait for someone to be like, "And I'm terrible to be here. Why am I here?"
We'll do that. We got to give you the benefit of the doubt first.
Yeah, it's fair. Donut, you're up next.
Hello, I am Donut. I will be playing Captain Khanas, daughter of Behoth. And I will be, what we're doing on the ship yet, or that's a secret?
That's up to you.
Okay, well,
Keep it straight.
Spoiler, it may have something to do with something on the ship. Sorry, that's where I'm going.
Nice.
Nice. All right.
All right, pronouns she, her, so.
Gotcha. Also, I suppose if say Steadfast, are you he, him?
Yes, my apologies. I am he.
Cool.
Same
Kern? Same? Okay.
He, him,
I go by any, so we're good there.
Mm-hmm.
But last but not least, Monjaden.
Guten Abend, everybody. I'm Monjaden. I'm going to be playing Colonel Maury, son of Pulvich. My role on the ship may or may not involve the ship. Happy to be here. He, him, his.
Ooh.
Got it. All right. And with that, let's run the lovely introduction that Techno Nerd made for us. Yep, gotta love that legal disclaimer at the end. But yes, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that intro, because you're going to be seeing it a lot, assuming Honasto continues forward, which I do hope it will.
Yeah.
So, something I will say up front is that there are three things I need to cover. The first is that this is a streamed game of Star Trek Adventures, which means that chat, you all watching and listening right now, can give the players meta currency, or you can give me meta currency. The second thing I will say on that note is that most of the players here are brand new, so I will be doing my best to introduce concepts, mechanics, etc., and teach them best I can. So if this is your first time ever seeing a Star Trek Adventures game, this might help you learn some of the mechanics. The third thing I would say is that, as is tradition on the channel whenever I run a Star Trek Adventures game, is I have the players do a opening log. And I believe, Akrak, you have that today.
That's me. All right. I will begin now. Brigadier General Akrak, eldest son of Koloth, acting fleet commander of the Honasto, and its attached vessel's personal log for the file. We are currently 10 days out from the Honasto, getting its clearance to leave the Milky Way galaxy and begin our journey to Segue. This is and will be the greatest expedition that the Klingon Empire or any group for that matter, will ever undergo. Over 10,000 of the Empire's greatest warriors, scientists, leaders, and explorers will set out. The energy is electric. The Honasto and its attached vessels are ready to go and explore the unknown in the name of the Klingon Empire. At present, myself and some of the other senior command officers have just arrived at the Barkoth Reach to receive a blessing from one of the most renowned and respected oracles in our great empire. The path is dangerous. Only the worthiest can reach her to receive her words of wisdom, and that, of course, is us. Our honor will be stoked with the words that she gives us. The fire in our hearts will rage brighter after our meeting with her, and the crew of the Honasto will hear of our success and good omens. This news will spread throughout the Empire and will invigorate the passion and support for this mission. I go now with some of the greatest Klingons to ever have served, to find our destiny. Glory to yourself, glory to the Honasto, glory to the Empire. Kapla. And I will
Very
end
nice.
my
You
log.
may have one momentum for that lovely opening log.
Huzzah.
So, where we will begin is you all are aboard the I.K.S. Nokka, the bird of prey, or one of the two bird of preys attached to the Honasto. As said in the opening log, you are approaching the Barkoth Reach. And when you drop at a warp, what you see is a massive asteroid field that sort of fills the view screen. And then, moments later, you all kind of feel a prickly sensation on your skin. And it grows and grows until it's overwhelming. You're like, do I scratch? Do I rub? Do I itch? But then suddenly, all of you on the bridge, every instrument reading, every visual thing on the view screen, all of it moves backwards to where it was several moments before. And the prickly sensation also dissipates at the same time. It's as if everything aboard the ship may have shifted backwards in time for a few seconds before the normal passage of time reasserted itself. Other than that, that's where we're going to drop you all in. As we go around real quick, this is where you're going to give us the physical description of your character if you've got one, and then what your role is aboard the Honasto. So we're going to go in the same order as before. So Brigadier Akrak, what would you like to say?
Brigadier Akrak is getting up there in the Klingon age range. He's got long gray hair, nice big gray beard. He's still in the presence of any members of the crew stands tall and carries himself with some honor there. But when he's alone, he does allow himself to slouch a bit because his back is getting a little sore sometimes. But he's doing okay. And he is kind of the fleet command attaché to make sure that all of the ships in the fleet are communicating together, making sure they're each kind of performing their specified roles, and just making sure that group cohesion is at an all-time high, 100% efficiency all the time.
Okay. And for this little adventure, you are acting as the commanding officer, I believe.
Yes, yeah.
Awesome. All right, Captain Dagon, what do you do and what do you look like?
I am the chief engineer for the whole fleet. I am short, I'm stocky, I have ramrod, and run a tight ship, especially in the engineering area.
All right.
I'm stern, and I speak. I don't use a lot of words, but
Nice.
I grunt a lot. But if I have something to say, it's usually in a rather harsh voice.
Beautiful.
Love it. All right, Captain Hanas, what about you?
Captain Hanas is also a little on the short and stocky side. Think channeling a bowling ball. You don't want to mess with her. And she is serving as a surgeon. Her opinion and philosophy is, if you can't be healthy enough to fight, you got to get yourself ready to, rock and rumble. So she is definitely very much making sure everyone's in their tip-top shape. She will make sure you get your butt to the med bay to recover, or else she will break your second leg.
I love it.
Nice.
And last but not least, Colonel Maury.
Mori, son of Povich, of the House of Povich, an ascendant house that has recently begun a path back towards what it might have had in terms of glory in the old days, is quite possibly the beleaguered Klingon of the fleet. He stands thinner than many, but has a piercing gaze that tinges the gray in his beard and hair that is just beginning to assert itself with age. His role aboard the ship is twofold. First off, he is something of a diplomatic attaché, not officially part of the diplomatic corps, but still a bit of the brains of the ship, out to keep an eye out for treaty negotiations, opportunities, and times when honor is not necessarily at the edge of a blade, which is infrequent, but still important. And that brings in his less happy role. Colonel Mori is the Klingon equivalent of a judge advocate officer. He is the wills, trusts, documentation, and sign here, dot here type of the fleet. He's the low end of the diplomatic totem pole, but he still has the bearing enough to stare down, calm down, and redirect the greatest warriors to at least log their honorable accomplishments, lest they be forgotten and not recorded in song.
Awesome. I love it.
Beautiful.
So with all that in mind, we once again revisit the fact that you all felt that tingling sensation, everything reset a few seconds, and then the tingling sensation went away as the asteroid field of the Barkoth Reach is on the view screen.
Radical. Yeah, I would definitely immediately just look to wherever the science station is on the Nocta, and sciences scan immediately, please.
All right. So, teaching moment as I quickly glance through everybody's score here. So, the way the Star Trek Adventure system works is this is a 2d20 dice pool system. By default, you will be rolling 2d20 against a combined score. For this instance, we will be combining your reason and science score, and you want to roll under that amount. Now, looking at everybody's sheet, I believe that Honasto and Dagon, you might have the highest science. No, I take that back. Mori actually might have the highest science. But you also want to look at your reason score here because it's a reason plus science. I'll let you all figure out who has the highest score, and whoever wants to roll, I will continue with my explaining.
Don't worry, everybody. I'll make it easy. It's not me.
Okay, that makes it easy. That's a step in the right direction.
So, general purpose question: Are we like trained to understand like all the temporal weird crap that's happened up until this point in the galaxy, or is it just kind of not general knowledge?
So what I would say is the beauty of Star Trek Adventures is you are considered to be a highly competent officer, even if you were a lowly lieutenant, a lowly Beck, that sort of thing. So it's one of those things where even if you are not particularly skilled in an area, so for example, looking at Mori, you're not really great at medicine. Your medicine score is a 1. But there's nothing stopping you from rolling medicine, and there's nothing stopping you assisting with medicine so long as you tell me how. So it's one of those things where even if you're not truly skilled, quote unquote, in something, you still have a very reasonable chance of success, if that makes any sense.
Gotcha. And in this case, since the Notka has the advanced sensor suites, do we get to piggyback anything, an assist from the ship?
You do, actually. I was just waiting for somebody to elect to do the role, and then I was going to explain further.
And then I have a question, kind of, I guess, more of a mechanics thing,
Yes.
just coming from past RP experiences. So it seems like we are kind of able to be like, yo, I have a 14, I have a 15. Okay, you have the 15, you should do the role. That's kosher for this sort of, I guess this is kind of a little more of an out of character question.
Yeah, that's perfectly okay. And one thing I would say is that the one thing I haven't touched on yet is what is known as your focuses. So one thing I will say is that if you have a focus that applies to your role, and I'm actually going to look at Honasto's sheet here. So let's say, for example, you're doing a medicine task and you're doing it in an emergency situation. So your emergency medicine focus would apply. What that means is your medicine score and lower are critical successes. So again, this is a 2d20 roll under system. Lower numbers are very good. A 1 is extremely good. A 20, not so much. So for example, If you were to roll a 4 on the die, well, a 4 is less than your score of medicine of a 5, so that counts as 2 successes that go against how many successes you need to succeed. So if you have a focus, great. Sometimes it's actually better to roll with a lower score if you have a focus that applies, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. That does help. I will still probably bungle it up, but that's why we're all learning together, so it's fine.
Exactly. But yeah, who would like to do the reason science here?
I think that
I
is it
have
Dagon or wait, no, actually Donut has like the highest combined.
I have
one.
a 15 combined, but if somebody has a
that beats
focus,
me by 1. Yeah.
my focuses are not really in this avenue unless we somehow think it's radiobiology related, which would be sure a trick, but not as non-zero chance of that happening, but probably not likely, but not zero.
I don't have a focus either, so. But it's
Okay.
14.
If it's concerning legality of time, law focus.
Right.
Yeah.
Send
right.
your best representative, Time Flux.
And pretend I never saw this before. How do I roll again? I know I did it 2 weeks ago.
What you do when you're looking at your character sheet, and those who are curious, we are using Foundry VTT for our virtual tabletop tonight. What you want to do is in the attributes column, you want to make your checkbox next to the reason, and then same thing for discipline, you want to make that science. Now, what we are going to do now is hit the perform task button. Now, when you hit the perform task button, it's going to come up and show a menu where it's like, hey, are you using a focus? Are you using a determination value? Are you having a complication range? How many dice are in the pool? All that stuff. Since this is the very first roll, you're going to leave all of that by default and just hit roll dice.
Is that where it says public roll? I'm trying to find it on my screen.
Should be on your character sheet, actually. It should say perform task. Should be in blue.
Oh, okay. I was looking for like a button.
Foundry's fancier
Oh,
than
perfect.
normal, but
Perfect. I see it. Okay, so this is a 2, so I'll roll 2. All right, here we go. Don't change the complication, right?
Nope, just leave it as is. Okay, so this is a good teaching moment. So this is considered to be a difficulty of 1 task, which means your 1 success, that 3 you rolled, is 1 success, meaning you have already succeeded at the task. However, since this is a ship-based task, returning to an earlier question, the Notka can actually assist you on this. Now, whoever would like to
Which it
roll
did.
for the I.K.S.
Actually, I
Notka... Yeah, what's up?
I did just, but
yeah, he already
look
got it.
above
He
it.
got a success.
Oh, well, that would help if I paid attention. Thank you. Yeah, so that's already 1 success. And what I would say, just as a teaching moment, is assisting is always 1 die. And usually I will allow you to assist one another or let the ship assist you as long as you can explain how they're assisting.
Cool.
Now, the one thing I would say is that assists can crit and complications just like a normal roll. So sometimes you're like, ooh, do I really want an assist? Do I want to mess it up? The chance of messing it up. So do keep in mind that there is always a chance of the dice not liking you. But for this instance, wonderful teaching moment, we have 2 successes on a difficulty 1 task. So what that means, you have 1 extra success, which gives you a point of momentum. Now, momentum is a meta currency that you can use to buy dice, ask questions, create advantages, but we'll get into that as things, come up. But what I would say is starting off is that your success has revealed that there are ambient chronoton levels throughout the Barkoth Reach, which means that there are temporal anomalies swirling among the asteroids on the view screen. And that means that you have to be very, very careful how you fly through this asteroid field. And this is also probably why so many of the previous attempts to reach the Oracle have failed.
Beautiful.
So I would suggest that we use our sensors to map the region so that we can find the safest route possible there.
I concur. But the greater the challenge, the greater the victory. This will be very good for us. Good.
And it certainly won't do us good if we get annihilated on the way down, so...
Oh, you must have faith.
And we must have faith that our warriors will not attempt to reverse engineer their own honor in the timeline.
All right, so this is let's see. So yeah, I guess we'd want to do some sort of a sensor check. ELH, I have Pathfinder. Would this proc as a talent here? Because it is
Let's take a
theoretically
look.
unknown territory to us in this moment.
Let's take a if you want to put it in chat, just click the little com badge next to Pathfinder, and everybody will
Yep.
see it. All right, let's see. So whenever a character attempts a task to plot a course through unknown territory, reduce the difficulty of the task by 1, 2, or 3 to a minimum of 1. And every point that you reduce, it increases the complication range. Okay. So what I would tell you is that this would be a reason and a con task, and the ship would assist you with a sensor science. And already accounting for the advanced sensor suites of the Nut-Ka, this will be a difficulty of 2 overall.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Now, one thing I would say is that, again, you can reduce to a minimum of 1 here. So if you want to reduce it using Pathfinder, what that'll mean when you roll is that you would change the complication range to a 2.
Cool. Yeah, I think that it would be oh, nice. It would be in a Croc's interest here to just go and slap himself at the con station and begin doing the maneuver himself.
You can tell I'm the engineer of this ship.
Right, yeah, exactly. You're doing great.
The ship is performing well above
yeah,
performance
it's doing great.
levels.
Yeah, so I would just for the sake of not metagaming, I will still do the difficulty reduced by 1 because I was going to anyways. So not seeing that we've already succeeded. Yeah.
Well, you have to succeed anyway. So
Yeah, the one
right.
thing about
Write it down
assists is that in order for an assist to count, the main roll has to get at least
Has
1
to
success.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
Cool. Yeah, sweet. Well, then I'll just do a nice standard 2. Would you say that the focus of a helm operation would be
Most
valid
definitely.
here?
Most definitely.
Beautiful. And I am cool. All right. Complication range. So is technically 2 here, correct?
Correct.
Got it.
All right. Wow. All right.
Absolute
So we
hero.
actually might have another teachable moment here. So you scored a total of 5 successes with the assist from the Nut-Ka. And what that means is you score 4 more momentum.
Let's
Now,
go.
What I will tell you is that momentum caps at 6. You cannot store more
Cool.
than 6 momentum at a time. Any momentum you earn in excess of 6 is kind of a spend it immediately or you lose it situation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Now, what I will tell you is that with your success on this roll is you believe you have a successful plotted course through the temporal anomalies and through the asteroid field to the center where the Oracle's base may lie or is supposed to lie. Now, here's the question. Who's actually going to fly the ship?
So would this be a point when, if I've got commanding bloodline, I could start using a command task? Could that help coordinate between different positions as we try to go about the course?
Yes. Go ahead and put commanding bloodline in chat if you would, so that the stream can see. So you come from a long line of leaders, and that brings you respect and prestige, which you can wield to lead others. Whenever you attempt a command task or attempt to assist another character using command, you ignore the first complication rolled on that task by anyone involved. So yes, this is something where if you would like to assist using a presence and command, whoever is doing the actual con task involved, that is something that can happen. But I usually require you to give me a little bit of role play. You can't just say, oh, I use presence command. Like I usually like, hey, give me a little something.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. So what would be the task that would be the actual piloting through the course that is plotted?
It would be a control plus a con at a difficulty of 2.
Oh, got it. I'm already in the seat. I plotted it. I'll go for it. I'm here.
Okay. Now, I am going to now do another teachable moment, and I'm actually going to spend some threat, some of my meta currency.
Yeah.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend 2 threat. When you make the roll, make sure that you make the complication range a 3 for me.
3. Okay, copy that. Beautiful. We've got a bunch of momentum to spend, so I think that on this task, I'd like to use some momentum to get some extra dice, if that's acceptable with you.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where this is kind of one of the most confusing things about momentum.
Yeah.
So you can spend 1 momentum to get 1 more die, so a total of 3.
3, yep.
A total of 3 momentum, so another further 2, to roll 4 dice.
Yeah.
And then all 6 to roll 5 dice total.
So before we start rolling, cop this. Hang on, so I could drop it. Yeah, so we could use the freebie just to start, and we get the reroll just because Advisor exists when I'm using Commanding Bloodline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna use 3 momentum to get up to 4 die, because if I over succeed, we'll just get the momentum back. So
love it.
Might as well use it.
Didn't we have the 1 freebie, or do we hit 6 and we can't max above?
No, you were already at 6.
We were at 6. All right, beautiful. So 4 die, focus, complication range 3.
We have some knowledge of
assisting. So how's the ship assisting?
For this one, actually, the ship is not going to assist you.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question while we're here. Can multiple characters assist on the same task, or is it a one?
Technically, you can, but I usually try to limit it to 1 or 2, usually the 1, because if you're always assisting one another, it kind of defeats the purpose.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it becomes a little extra. Everyone's just standing around doing the same thing at the same time. It's very funny, though. All right, beautiful. Cool. I will go ahead.
All right. Well, there's already 3. And then, Maury, do you still wish to assist?
Let's see. I don't know. It'll be useful to. I think the call goes down to whether or not the general wants to do it. I'm forgetting everybody's names, but we got that 17. Couldn't hurt to see what that gives us.
Up to you.
I mean, we already got it, and if I re-roll it, there's still a chance that I could still get a complication on it.
Yeah.
So I think we're fine because it was a difficulty
of 2.
2. So yeah. We succeed. We get 1 momentum back. I think that's.
Yep.
I think I'm okay with that.
That's fair. I'm not going to force it.
All right.
It's honorable not to be greedy.
Yeah. This is perfectly fine.
We are not
just pointed out. I've been handling the momentum, by the way, just to let people know there.
Beautiful.
Excellent. Thank you, Current. All right. So you engage at the helm station, and the bird of prey begins gliding through the asteroid field. You avoid major temporal anomalies on your way to the outpost where the Oracle lives. However, about halfway through the course, a temporal anomaly opens up off the port bow, and debris comes spilling out of it. And what I would tell you for free, no roll required, is that your sensors indicate that the wreckage belongs to an old Klingon ship that would predate even the D7 battle cruisers. And at this point in the timeline, those are ancient.
Yeah.
What I will also tell you is that there are no life signs among the debris, and that for some reason, the wreckage is far better preserved than the age of the vessel would indicate, as if the wreckage passed through a temporal anomaly and traveled into the future.
Right, traveled here a long time ago. Interesting. All right, and it's decent amounts of debris that are coming our way.
You're not in any danger. Your deflector can handle it, but there is a significant amount of debris all the same.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'll just give the order. Just make sure everyone's deflectors up. Brace in case any of them do impact a little heavier. And I'm just gonna keep going because I don't want to really stray too far off the course that we've already plotted.
Do we have any readings on if there's the debris became debris by weapons fire, like any
I was
residue?
Just about to ask, do we see any evidence of a battle?
Do we detect any honor on this debris?
I love it. So this is going to be a reason and security, and the ship will assist you with a sensors security. I am going to make the difficulty a 3 here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's after accounting for advanced sensor suites, I should say.
Gotcha. I'm flying. You go for it. I believe in you.
Which you?
Dagon is at 14.
I'm
is it
at
Dagon or Dagon?
Karen?
I think you step back.
Looks like
Yeah, I'm also at 14. So.
Or, sorry, missed that.
We found there is a very old debris field that looks like a very old Klingon ship that they are attempting to scan. And they
Okay, yeah. Okay, so sensors.
sensor security for the ship, and then if you want to make the actual roll, Dagon, just as a point of comparison, it would be a reason security. But I think we're still deciding who's doing the roll here.
I think technically Honasto might be highest at 14.
No, I think we tied at 14.
So whoever feels the most lucky, I suppose.
A warrior makes his own luck.
There you go. Now you gotta super succeed after you say that. I believe in you.
Yeah, I believe in you.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm
really.
not the one rolling.
You're not? That's something you say right before you roll all successes, buddy. Come on now.
This is something that the guy.
I mean, he still could roll.
Right, yeah.
He's not
Tell you
that
what.
much lower than the rest of us.
Tell you what, Maury, you made the comment. You're gonna roll.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
that's how
a
it
reason.
All right,
you're
we're gonna
be
play
a
like
reason
that.
security.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are playing it like that.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, you're gonna regret allowing me to do this. Okay, here we go.
All right. Now
Um,
again, it
it
is
was
a
reason
difficulty
security.
of 3, so you may wish to buy some dice. Now, what I would tell you is you don't always have to buy with pure momentum. If you want, you can give me threat to buy those dice instead, and you can mix. So, for example, if you wanted 2 extra die, you could give me 1 momentum, 2 threat, 1 momentum. You get the idea. But just remember, threat is my meta currency, and I can do some very mean things with it sometimes.
Yeah,
And
man,
just to complicate things a little more, you could use determination.
Yes, I'm kind of saving determination for when it's really
I was figuring
relevant.
you were.
Right.
Yeah,
But
I was
I'll
figuring
do
you'd
that
do it.
teaching moment a little bit later.
A big narrative.
Yeah, I figured.
moment, I'm sure. Yeah.
let's see. And so the ship assist. There's no reason for the ship. Is that what sensors?
Yeah, the ship already rolled. The ship already got the sensor security.
Ship's good. The engineer's taking care of the ship.
All right. I could spend momentum after the roll, right?
No, it has to be declared before you make the roll.
Then I'm gonna say let us indeed spend the momentum. I don't trust this.
Okay.
good.
How many die do you wish to roll?
Let's see. So reason security. Let's just spend the 1 momentum.
Okay.
So
Okay.
changing dice and pool to 3, right?
Correct. Okay, so 2 successes for you and 1 from the ship. You meet the difficulty of 3. So what you detect on the debris field is that if this is correct and what your sensors are returning, this would have been one of the vessels that Glorithar, the oracle that you're going to see, this would be one of the vessels belonging to the rebellious generals that she put down before retiring to a life of contemplation and meditation here in the Barkoth Reach.
It appears that we have assembled ourselves upon an honorable museum of the person who we are going to meet. I sense that we are coming across a very real paradox in this.
And what was her name? Elage? Sorry,
Glorithar.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Look off the bow. Observe that ship. Notice how they were unsuccessful. We will be different.
And notice how it is several hundred years in the past. We should not allow this debris to slip by.
Debris in the past. We're in the present. Unless we're in the past now. Oh, snap.
Wait, didn't it appear like in our time, like it kind of phased through, or are we just like seeing remnants?
Yeah,
of
like
stuff?
that was, are we peering into, is everything around it our time? Or is
So
it's just the objects that are the out of time? Or is it like a whole region? I might have missed
So,
that.
if you want to spend a momentum to ask me that question,
Oh,
I will be
I
happy
see
to
where this
answer.
is going.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's actually a really good thing to clarify. Yes, to see are we looking into like a window or a zone of temporal shenanigans, or is it just we threw ship parts or whatever?
All right.
I concur.
Now, one thing I will say about this momentum spend, this is what is called the obtain information. And you can basically do this spend at any roll at any time. So if you're ever wanting a little bit of extra info about something, you would just say, hey, I want to spend momentum, I want to spend a threat, can you answer this question for me? What I will tell you is that unlike in D&D where you ask the game master, hey, what does this mean? And he kind of giggles to himself and just rolls dice and makes your life hell, I actually have to answer truthfully. I don't have to give you the full picture, but I do have to give you enough to warrant the spend, if that makes any sense. So with your spend and asking the question, this is the situation where the wreckage is spilling out of an anomaly into your time. So it's not a window into the past. It is literally a displacement of the past to what is their future and your present.
Okay, so then there's no chance of, as far as we can tell, there's no chance of us tripping back 300 years or whatever it is.
That is correct.
That we can tell.
Yes.
It is simply this ship is from the past and it is in our current reality.
I mean, a tractor beam probably won't trip back. You know, it's not like we're flying in to pick it up.
Yeah. You hear Dagon say, well, it's amazing how technology has improved since then. Commented design.
Time, I'm sure it was a beautiful, lovely, glorious vessel that found an unfortunate fate here.
Indeed.
But ours will not do the same.
It certainly won't.
We have a chance to understand the truth of this vessel and understand better the sources of the honor to which we now quest. I would say that it is imperative for us to at least beam some of the wreckage on board for investigation as we proceed.
Can we fit the wreckage on board?
Yeah, you can grab a fragment or two easily enough.
If you wish, we'll make it quick. We can lower deflectors, and you can attempt to acquire a piece of ancient Klingon technology for your studies.
Wouldn't be the first time.
The record is all that is honor.
All right. So this is where we're going to do a little bit of engineering now, because you're beaming things aboard. So if I remember my transport role correctly, it is a control and engineering, and the ship will assist you with a sensors engineering. And the difficulty on this is a base of 2, but transporting is a little complicated, so I have to walk through it myself to make sure I do it right. So your target is not on a transporter pad, it's out in space, so it becomes difficulty of 3. You're beaming it to a transporter room, presumably, so that goes back down to a 2. The sensor, or the temporal readings of the Barkoth Reach are making things a little bit more difficult, which means that the total difficulty here will be a 3.
Got it. So, I will spend 1 momentum for 1 extra dice.
Okay.
And we'll let it rip from there. Oh, shoot.
All right, well, this is a good moment. We've rolled our first complication, but go ahead and roll the ship as well. Let's see if you get anything. Okay, so you do get your momentum back. Very well. So this is a teachable moment. So there's both a 1 on that roll and a 20. So the 1 is 2 successes. The 20 is a complication. Now, let me take a glance at your sheet. I don't believe you have a way of re-rolling that 20 except for determination, if you wanted to.
I could, actually, wait. Since Commanding Bloodline only took effect after we attempted a roll from earlier, could I use it again and we could re-roll the complication, or can you not re-roll complications?
So you can re-roll complications, but in order for Commanding Bloodline to come into effect, you actually have to perform the assist.
Gotcha. Never mind.
But good question to ask. So do you know, I always ask before presuming, do you want to keep that complication?
Nope. Let's get rid of that one.
Okay. So do you wish to use determination to reroll here?
I'll go for a reroll.
Okay. So this is a teachable moment for determination. So determination is a third meta currency, but to kind of give an example of other tabletop games, this is your luck point, this is your inspiration, this is your hero point. It does very special things. So things it can do before a roll is you can use determination and get a die that is already rolled a 1, so you start with 2 free successes. After a roll, you can spend determination to you can spend determination to re-roll as many dice in your pool as you wish. Now, I'm very specific about your pool because it's usually only the main roller that is spending determination.
Gotcha.
So yeah, Dagon, if you want to use determination here, what you use, so in order to use determination, you have to tie what you're doing to a value of your character or a mission directive of your ship. So if you wish to use determination here, Dagon, what value would be coming into play here?
Delegate problems, not glory.
Okay. All right. And one thing I will say before you do the reroll is that everybody starts every session with 1 determination unless I say otherwise. There are ways to acquire determination and store it up for future missions, but we'll get into that later. Okay, so you turn that complication into another success, earning you another point of momentum. All right. So you beam aboard a fragment of this vessel. And your underlings, unless you want to go visit it yourself, I'll let you flavor it however you wish. What you find out is that this is actually a D7 battlecruiser belonging to one General Gruth. And what you would know, checking the glory logs of the Empire, is that General Gruth was one of the rebellious officers that rebelled against Glorthar's brother, Keldra. And Glorthar was responsible for putting General Gruth down.
Interesting.
Do we have a rough time estimate on how long ago it is from?
To not put a fine date on it, it is long enough that generations of Klingon have been born and raised.
Gotcha, okay.
Is there any particular cultural or historical or meaningful value to having a piece of this, or is it to us just junk?
You make that call as your character.
Okay. What was it? Being, I guess, the record keeper, is this anything close to? Is there any controversy in the records, or was it, indeed clear the rebels were put down honorably? The house was done anything, or is there, I guess, a differing school of thought on this?
Right. Is there any controversy or differing opinions, or is it very clear cut? One side is right, one side is wrong.
As far as the record is concerned, one side is right, one side is wrong. What that means, I let you determine.
The winner writes the history books. Cool. Well, perhaps we can look through it later, find a good home for it. Maybe on Kronos or some trophy of success or failure, depending on how you wish to look at it.
We may need hull plating later.
I hope it doesn't come to a point where we will have to use hull plating from an old D7, but good to have spare parts.
General, you speak as if a scar is not to be wielded with honor. And hearty Klingon laughter.
Ha ha ha.
The whole bridge. As we all chuckle in unison. As we continue our descent.
All right. So, you eventually arrive at the heart of the Barkoth Reach. And what you see before you on the view screen is an aging but definitely artificial structure that has been built directly into a large asteroid. Sensors would indicate that some of the domes that you're seeing on the surface are actually some form of a hydroponics dome. So basically, this is probably what Glorythar is using to grow her food. You're also able to tell that there are communication towers, docking ports, and other sorts of points of interest along the asteroid's surface. Anything more than that would require a scan roll.
Sensor scan.
Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
let's do it.
Has any
Okay.
Klingon actually ever been here before? Are we the first to make it here and back?
So, one thing I should probably have said earlier is that this is not the first time anyone's been to see Glorythar. The whole point of seeing Glorythar is like, oh, she's the Oracle. If you get her blessing, it's great honor for your house and your mission, etc., etc. So, there have been some successes in the past, but this is very much only a select elite few get this far.
When we're talking like select elite few, are we talking like a couple per month, a couple per year, a couple per generation, just to kind of get a sense of the scale?
So it would be a couple per generation.
So it's known. This is not necessarily like some kind of we've never seen this before. This could be a communications array. We don't know. It's a real thing. People have said, this is where it was. This is where we found it. This is where we got the Oracle's blessing, or we did not. We are dishonorable, etc.
Yeah,
right?
but we also could be the first people in a decade here.
Yeah.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, that helps. That kind of helps get the sense of scale of like, would somebody, because the other thing I was wondering was like, would somebody else have seen the temporal anomaly before us? Is it traversed enough that would have come up, or is it like we were truly the right place, right time? That could have been there for years.
Wait, hold on. So if Glorythar put down a rebellion years enough ago to have fragments of something that predates a D7, and we found the fragments from Glorythar's rebellion, and she's here on this asteroid, how old is Glorythar?
Very.
Is she up there?
Like beyond known physiological
I was
living sense
reading
for
it
a
as it
Klingon,
was
right?
like the line. It wasn't the single same exact person, but
Theoretically, would make her in the range of the Dahar Master. Old.
that would be redonkulously old. Yeah, I thought it was like a lineage we were referring to, not like a single person or
I
like
thought-
a title.
But if it's predating D7s, that's at least like 175, 200 years old?
Mm-hmm.
Have any... All right, you know what? If it's known that Klingons can live to that age, that's fine. It's more like, damn, this is a wise, honorable Klingon, as opposed to, how the hell have you lived 200 years longer than anybody else, or however many years?
I'm just going to do that GM thing where I steeple my fingers and go, yes, excellent.
She's just, she's blessed by I.K.S. She's just so cool.
Well, I mean-
everybody loves her.
Okay, yes, being blessed by Khalith, thumbs up, but also time shenanigans, thumbs up.
Yeah, there's a bit of time shenanigans in the area, so maybe that's helping her.
That could help or
past-
harming.
One warrior's thumbs up is another warrior's face palm.
We'll go with helping, because if she's still alive, it helped.
It's probably going well for her, yeah. So who was going to do the scan? Yeah.
Well, what I would tell you is it would be a reasoned science assisted by the ship's sensors science, and it would be a difficulty of 2 after accounting for advanced sensor suites.
All right, reason science is kind of up my avenue. I've got a 15 for that. If somebody else got something better, feel free. Otherwise, I'll do the 2 roll.
You got
All
it.
you.
I shall have to congratulate the engineer on this ship.
Yeah, the ship's done really well so far.
Doing great,
Great
yeah.
work. Great job.
Upkeep on this
Very
ship is
honorable.
fantastic.
All right, I'll roll it. This is a 2, so
All right, so that's 3 successes in all,
Wow.
meaning you get another point of momentum, bringing you up to 4. So, what you learn is that the outpost is running on a fusion generator, and the generator is powering life support, artificial gravity, and minimal defense screens. So some of those dishes you're seeing pointed out towards the rest of the Barkoth Reach, those are probably the deflector arrays that are keeping other asteroids from colliding with the outpost. Now, what I would tell you is that those deflectors would not last long under a disruptor barrage. Like a quick 2 shots and you could disable potentially the entire deflector screen, keeping this outpost safe. What I will also tell you is that you are detecting a source of chronotons within the outpost. You can't quite get a specific location, but you are detecting chronotons all the same.
So there is time shenanigans. Time crimes, one could call it, perhaps.
Nice. Beautiful.
So with the deflector screens up, we can't transport in. You can't use transporters to go in there.
Well, you can. I should probably clarify is that deflectors are different from shields in that shields can't be beamed through unless you have a specific talent for your ship, but a deflector you can beam through no problem.
Okay.
Maybe before we go about trying to break down the door, we knock on it first.
Yeah, is the Oracle expecting us? Like, did we, not that you necessarily would make an appointment, maybe you make an appointment.
She's an Oracle, of course she expects us.
She's an Oracle.
I said an Oracle isn't like a wizard. They don't see, they give a blessing, they don't see the future. Maybe they do. I don't know.
I mean, if she doesn't, she can expect us when we say hello. Is there?
True.
If I recall, they're lore masters.
Yeah, they just know all of the history forever, all the time. Is there? You said there were like docking areas,
Docking
correct?
points. Yep.
Yeah. Are they apt size to
For a
slap
bird
our
of prey,
ship on? Or?
yeah, you could dock with it.
Yeah, might as well.
I would
We
do
should
the
hail
not
them
gun.
first.
I would not do the warrior blazing entrance. I would go peacefully.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, we'll hail them and dock, and then it will be problem solved.
Okay.
Not to do anything else weird here.
So first thing is hailing.
Yep.
Yeah. So you open a hail, and you do not get a reply from a actual Klingon. You get an automated reply, which simply directs you to either dock or beam into one of the hydroponics domes.
At least it's not a cave.
Yeah.
That seems like a cool place.
It's the alternative of not
Not what,
going down.
but that's why we're here to speak
Exactly.
with the Oracle and
Yes.
get a reading.
Yes, we must go forth. I'm agreeing.
Let's do it. Let's bring the ship down and dock and say howdy hey there.
Okay. So, I did just get a complication from chat. Thank you, chat. And I've elected to take 2 threat for that, just so you all aware. So docking is going to be a difficulty of 2, and it is a control plus con. The ship will assist you with an engines con.
Cool. Alrighty. I'll run it. Control con, helm operation focus. I'll use a momentum just to get 3 dice, just to be safe.
Hold up a second. I think I might have the highest control con.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, if you feel like it, that's fine.
Oh wait, no, Akrok does. Who's talking there right now? Is it Dagon or Akrok?
Yeah, it's I'm Akrak.
Not that.
Never mind. Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Now we're all still learning. We're good.
Yeah.
The nut
Cool.
car got you an assist.
So helm operations, control con, boop, 1 momentum to get up to 3 die. I got another complication.
Well, you did get the momentum right back, but there is a complication. So again, as a reiteration, you could spend your determination here to reroll as many of those dice as you wish, or you can simply take the complication and we'll see what happens.
No, yeah, I'll spend my my determination. Now, I know that it also works with like the directives of the mission. Could I just use the directive of, hey, we want to meet with the Oracle to get our mission read for the glory and honor of the Empire
Yeah, you could
as a
certainly do
reason
that.
for the determination here. You're cool. Then yeah, I'll just do that, and I'll just reroll one die, the complication one.
Okay. So you can either hit
and-
the reroll results button, or you can simply just hit perform task and do as many dice as you want to reroll.
Gotcha. And I'll just do the perform task one, and it still tracks the focus that was still being used, correct?
It should, but I can always check manually if it doesn't.
Copy.
Well, you rolled an 11, so that means you're now, and chat just gave you momentum. You should be at 5 momentum overall if I'm keeping track correctly.
Okay.
So there is a moment where you're bringing in the Nut Ka, and there's a moment where a temporal eddy threatens to throw you into the asteroid field and bang up your bird of prey. But you compensate very quickly, and you bring the Nut Ka and dock successfully with the outpost. And what I would tell you is that the Becks that are down at the airlock report that a seal has been made. There is a atmosphere on the other side, and that you should be able to, quote unquote, go ashore.
Beautiful. Good. I'll get up, stretch my back. Ship feels good. I'll go over to Dagon and pat him on the back. Like, your work is exemplary, as always.
Thank you, sir.
I'll turn to the rest of the bridge crew that is staying behind. Just keep the running lights on. And if they want to, don't do anything to offend the Oracle, but feel free to scan, see if there's anything that the station is transmitting or any sort of interesting things they can learn while they're here. But I think we should just gather and go and chat with Oracle Glorythar, which is such a big, amazing name, by the way.
Mm-hmm. All right.
What's the spelling on that, just so I have it right in my notes? I guess it doesn't really matter.
It is Glory with an I and then Thar, Thar.
All one word?
Yep.
Cool beans.
I'm going to name my first daughter that.
I mean, it's Klingon. You could throw at least 1 or 2 apostrophes wherever you feel appropriate.
Yeah.
And I believe her title would be Lore Master.
Potentially, yeah. But yeah, so this is the point where you're engaging on an away mission. So I stop for a moment and ask if there's any special equipment you wish to take with you. Now, when I say special equipment, I mean anything not already on your character sheet. So, for example, all of you would already have your armor. All of you would already have a duck-tag dagger. And by default, you should have a disruptor pistol as well. I think for some reason, the Foundry sheet may not have imported the disruptor, but I can handle that during break.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Same here.
So I'll handle that during break. But in terms of equipment, you can bring things like transporter enhancers, things like a disruptor rifle, things like extra armor, things like an engineering kit, whatever would be non-standard is what I have to ask here.
Well, I already have an engineering kit.
I was about to say, I would with the chronotons, I would make sure we'd have engineering stuff, and I do have medical kit supplies in case anything does go that route.
Also, how comprehensive are the historical records that are stored on the tricorders? Do we need to have like tricorder history cartridge just in case?
No, I would say you're probably okay with your tricorders.
Klingon Wikipedia already set.
Yep. All right. So, one thing I will just clarify is that since Kanas is the medical officer, you always do have a medical tricorder on hand, which makes medicine tasks easier for you, just so you know. And Kern, you already know this, but since you are technically the chief engineer, you have the equivalent for engineering.
Yep.
All right.
Nice.
So, all of you journey down to the airlock. You step in, the door seals behind you, there's a hiss, and then the far door opens. And inside, you see dim light that is providing spotty illumination, and that the corridors and rooms that you can see are all cloaked in shadows. The air of the outpost tastes stale, and there is dust covering most of the surfaces. You only hear the rattling of aging life support and nothing else. You're not hearing any chanting. You're not hearing anything that would indicate that somebody is here or has been here recently.
But that's not unsurprising, though.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that alone is not an indicator that something is seriously wrong.
Correct.
And no, like, smell of death or smell of honor or anything like that, right?
Not that you can detect.
Well, in my mind's eye, I envision there to be a bit more
Time to use our tricorders to
fanfare.
find somebody. Find life signs.
If you'd like, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
true. We
so-
can do a sweep to see if there's any ambient, I don't know, bacteria, bugs.
Viruses.
I don't. Yeah, any.
and radiation.
Yeah, or if there's something
life
like.
signs, radiation. If there's
Yes.
anywhere in the station that has more power signatures than where we currently are.
And is there anything in the station's visual, anything we could see so far that indicates particular age or origin? You know, is it mechanically or structurally similar to that old pre-D7 fragment?
Old pre-D7 fragment, and I'm actually going to spend 2 threat to make something happen. So as you all are, comparing notes and, trying to figure out what's going on with the outpost, what you see before you is that in pretty close proximity to you all, there's a bright strobing light, and a humanoid figure appears in the center of this anomaly. And after but a moment, the strobing effect disappears, and the figure also disappears.
I'll look over and make sure
Are
that
we
everyone
talking Borg here?
everyone also did see that. I'm just confirming that. Okay. And it was just a humanoid figure. No other major details.
Well, if you'd like to roll me a difficulty 2 insight and command task, I might be able to tell you more.
That's how it gets
do it.
ya.
Let's do it. Cool. Yeah, insight command difficulty 2. I'll spend a momentum to get up to 3 die.
Okay.
Would you give me composure here as a focus?
I'll give it to you. It was a very sudden appearance of this humanoid.
Okay.
That is
Wowzers.
5 successes, so that's actually going to, I believe,
Wow.
cap you and
Yeah.
with 1 floating, if I can
With
do
1
math in my
floating.
head correctly.
Yeah. That
So you
is-
probably want to
Use them
spend
the
that.
information spend.
Exactly, yeah. You will probably want to spend that extra momentum on a question. But what I will tell you with your base success is that was a Klingon warrior you saw. But
Gotcha,
their
okay.
uniform and armor was, again, anachronistic, same as the D7 fragment.
Gotcha.
Were they just kind of
old.
standing there? Did they look like they were in the middle of attacking something, running from or towards something, reacting? What did they look like they were doing?
Do you want that to be your question?
Yeah, I feel like that's an acceptable question to ask here. Was there any motion that it was doing? Was it motionless towards us? Did it seem to have
Or conspicuous lack of motion?
Sure, yeah, something along those lines.
So what you can tell, or what you discern, is that they were holding what could have probably been a bat'leth, and they were in the process of bringing the bat'leth down towards something or someone.
Ooh.
Okay. Can I do something to ask a follow-up question? And I got to focus on bladed weapons on this one. Can I discern anything about what he was attacking or what type of opponent? Was it down like towards something on the ground to finish them off? Someone standing? What can we tell about the opponent he was facing based on what we saw?
So you can either spend 1 momentum to ask that question, or you can attempt an insight plus security, also at a difficulty of 2.
And does the focus do anything to the roll?
It would apply. So what that would mean for you is that you would basically crit on anything of your security or lower.
Yeah, I'm down to take a shot at that. Let's do it.
And it is a difficulty of 2.
Now, am I buying momentum for that or just a regular roll?
That's all you. That's your decision.
Let's use it.
So you're buying 1 dice? Yeah, okay.
That you get right back, yeah. Cool. So what I would say then is, based on your mastery of bladed weapons, you can tell that this was aimed at a humanoid of similar height. And you have studied the blade, obviously, as funny as it is for me to say that. This is one of those situations, though, where since you're Klingon, you can tell that this was against another Klingon wielding another batleth.
We have seen a peek into the Civil War itself. Curious.
Do we see anything going? So the vision is past, but is there anything else that we can detect or notice out of the norm right now after we've already seen the figure?
Well, I was waiting for you to say that, because you all now hear fierce growls and the frantic pounding of hooves charging in your direction. And as you all begin to deal with that, what you see are a pack of targs that are coming down the corridor, rushing at you all. And that's where we're going to take our break, because I got to get your disruptor pistols in.
Cool.
So we'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes, everybody.
Beautiful.
Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
And welcome back to part 2 of the series premiere of Star Trek Honasto. If you're just joining us, the players have journeyed to the Barkoth Reach to seek the blessing of the Oracle Glorythar, and they have just arrived on her outpost in the middle of the Barkoth Reach. And all was going well until a pack of targs decided to come charging at the players. So it is at this point we're going to be dropping into personal combat. Nice. Now, if you will direct your attention in Foundry, and you go to the Journal tab, and under the PDF Handouts handout, you should see that there is a Personal Combat Minor and a Personal Combat Tasks page there. And you can click that image for it to pop up, and you can zoom in and all that. So the way combat works in Star Trek Adventures is it's unlike, say, D&D, where you have a set initiative, a set way you can move, etc., etc. We actually usually don't use battle maps. We use Theater of the Mind for Star Trek Adventures. And instead of specific ranges, each part of the environment is separated into zones. So, for example, you all are currently outside of the airlock. So the airlock could be one zone. The corridor you are in is another zone. The junction that the targs have rounded and started coming towards you, that's another zone. You hopefully get the idea.
Sure.
In terms of what you can do in combat, that's what the Personal Combat Tasks page covers. But I'm always happy to explain or, go through them if need be. But what I would tell you, since the handout does not cover this, is that a melee attack using a dagger, your fists, a batleth, whatever, that has to be in the same zone as you and is a daring security at a difficulty of 1. If you wish to shoot someone with a disruptor pistol, that has to be at medium range, or basically what the targs are at currently, and that would be a control security difficulty of 2. And the other important note I have to say, and don't worry, I'll repeat any of this if you need me to, is that if you assist someone, that counts as your action during the round. Now, again, as I said, there is no set initiative. So what that means is the players among yourselves can elect who goes first. Then it goes to the enemy, goes back to the players, again picking whomever, and it just goes back and forth until everybody has gone in the round.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I know that was a lot, so like I said, if you need me to repeat any of it, feel free.
No, it seems pretty good. I like it. Looking at those.
I wasn't
personal
planning on a
combat.
targ hunt, so I didn't bring my Gintok spear.
Yeah, I don't think we were ready. We were planning on a hunt.
No, disruptors will not do anything to the meat. We can still aim for heads and legs.
Yeah, it's fine. We can
That's
take
true.
care
We
of
can
that.
still dismobile them.
How many targs are there?
Well, there's 4 of you, and look at that. There's 4 targs.
Oh, nice.
How wide is the area that they're coming across? Could the targs like get shoulder to shoulder, or
Oh
could
yeah,
we
they're
take
shoulder
one
to
out and have-
shoulder.
Yeah.
All right, so we can't have trade.
Will this be a roll here? Are these like real targs, or are they the kind of the chronoton, the facsimile of a previous targ?
Well, based on your nose, those are real targs.
Oh, okay, all right. They've been
Ooh.
here for a while.
The question is, what year are they from? But I don't think we're going to be able to get an answer if we ask them.
Right.
A good vintage. That's what year.
2309.
There's I don't think there's any issues with killing a couple of targs that are charging at us aggressively.
We will have
So,
the cooks
take
collect them when we are done.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, like I said, players go
yeah.
first. Who would like to
I'll-
act?
I'll just step forward, pull out the disruptor, just stay close and kill them swiftly. And I guess I'll aim and take a shot at one.
Okay. So aiming does mean you can reroll a single d20,
Mhm.
and that applies for both melee and ranged. It's not just ranged.
Oh, interesting. That was going to be my next
Oh, I
question.
didn't know that.
All
Okay.
righty, that is very cool.
Yep.
And you said for aiming, it's
ranged?
control security,
Control security, difficulty of 2. Yep.
difficulty of 2, and I can reroll a task. And then what? Okay, gotcha.
Now, one
guess
thing
I'll
I
roll
also will
first.
say real quick is that there is a difference between shooting and meleeing non-lethally and lethally. And what I would tell you is that non-lethal attacks do non-lethal damage. Lethal attacks do lethal damage. And that's important because you all are Klingons. Klingons have extra resistance against non-lethal.
Yeah.
Now, what I would say is that you have to declare whether you're firing or attacking non-lethal or lethal before the roll is made. And the difference is, if you are being a lethal attack, then I get a threat for every lethal attack.
Oh, interesting.
But it also plays the other direction, where if I make a lethal attack against any of you, I have to pay a threat.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Interesting.
So if we non-lethally incapacitate a target, they're still going to be writhing and stuff and alive and everything, right?
Yes, they will be alive. They will just be, well, I know disruptors don't really stun, but they'll
Yeah,
be...
that'll come in my
they'll
next
be
question.
down.
Yeah,
They'll-
right.
Yeah, they might recover, if you left them alone long enough, but for the sake of the narration, they are effectively removed from play for the time being.
They're suffering from flesh wounds.
Hey, I'm of the idea that if these are targs that are attacking us to kill us, all bets off the table.
This is supper.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, there's no point in interrogating a targ,
Yeah. Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
which is
if
something
it's
K.S. totally said.
yeah, if it's the Oracle's pets, that sucks. Keep them on a closer leash.
I mean, on the other hand, that's true. They could be the Oracle's pets, and I don't necessarily know if we want to get on her bad side. So they're coming at us, but are they like? Can they take us down? I admittedly don't know much about targs. I know that they're like.
The hearts are
They can
tasty.
take us down.
I know that they're like
Yeah,
food.
they're-
Is it like a cow or
They
is it
can
more
take
like
us
an
down.
elephant?
no, they can mess us up.
Okay, then I
time.
take that back. I didn't know if it was like, oh, it's just some sheep. I don't know. You could just like kick them in the kneecaps.
Let's just say
No,
you
they-
definitely
they've got-
don't want to
they-
get
they've
hit
got
by a
tusks.
tusk.
No,
Yeah.
they're really
Gotcha.
That's it.
big.
They
Like,
have tusks.
yeah, they want to impale us and not.
Think saber-toothed tiger, but in a boar shape.
Yeah, this is not Klingon Spain. We are not running with the targs.
That's funny.
Yeah.
No, but that might be a future event on the Honasto. I'm just gonna
Yeah. You know,
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
all right, cool. So yeah, why don't I go ahead and aim? Difficulty 2, you said.
Difficulty 2.
Oh, man, I should be pretty good at this. I'm not gonna spend momentum. I'll let
Okay.
if other people need to, they can.
All right, well, you did aim,
Yeah.
so you can re-roll that 20.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So perform task 1. There we
Okay.
go. Well, not a
So
complication.
this is a
Yeah.
teachable moment because you've achieved 1 success when you need 2. So what I can offer you as the GM, and it's my prerogative when to offer this, I can offer you a success with a complication. So you'll do it, but there's a complication.
No, that's okay. I'll just miss. I'm all right. I'm all right with not hitting it this first shot.
All right, fair enough. So yeah, you pull out your disruptor pistol, you try and line up a shot, you try to make it steady, but unfortunately the targets are just moving so fast that the blast of green energy goes right over one of their heads.
Man, all I need
Now-
is 17. Tragedy.
Now what I would tell you is that you all could spend 2 momentum to retain the initiative, and that means another player could go before the targs go.
That may be wise.
For that.
Also, if we take them down all at once, 4 of us, 4 targs, it'll look badass.
Are we trying to impress the Oracle? Actually, yes, we are trying to impress the Oracle.
Klingon Pulp Fiction.
All right, so you spent the
All
2
right, I'll
momentum.
go next.
Okay, you'll go next?
Yep. You don't have a focus in energy weapons.
Okay,
Yeah.
2 successes. Now, this is another teachable moment. You've done damage. Oh, real quick, was that a lethal attack or no?
Non-lethal.
Non-lethal. Okay. So,
Trying to preserve the meat.
all right. So, what that
Don't want to
means now
disintegrate it.
is that there are 2 ways to roll damage. One way you can roll damage is to click the little com badge next to whatever weapon you're using, or you can click the perform challenge button and do it that way. So for example, Dagon's already rolled, thank you. We can see that they have achieved a number of results, but you're probably wondering, ELH, what do those strange symbols mean? Well, what I would tell you is that Star Trek Adventures and every other 2D20 system uses special D6s. And just so you might have a reference at home, 1 and 2 mean what they mean, 3 and 4 mean 0, 5 and 6 mean 1 plus an effect. So for example, we had 7 total successes here because there were 4 effects. So actually, I think you have more. Hold on, let me count. That might be. Let me see. That's 1.
Is
2.
this like the new math that they teach kids nowadays?
Maybe.
Schools.
You're
Maybe.
a physics graduate.
But what's important is even if you don't have an effect, you still get the 1 damage if you see a comm badge in Foundry. So
Okay.
I think that's actually incorrect because that's 7. Yeah, that's 7 successes with 4 effects, and you have the vicious effect on
1,
your pistol,
yeah.
which is 1. So that is
So
11
that's 11.
total damage.
Mhm.
But that's good because 11 total damage is a teachable moment. So, in Star Trek Adventures, the magical number is 5 or more damage in a single shot. If you do 5 or more damage in a single shot, you injure whatever it is you're shooting at. And what an injury means is that that person, place, object, character, whatever, is taken out of the scene and cannot be targeted unless I or you spend threat. So it's one of those things where, in this instance, Dagon, you line up your shot, you fire with your disruptor pistol, and the target you hit goes down. And that's why I asked lethal versus non-lethal, because you don't vaporize the target, it just drops to the ground, unconscious.
I want the meat.
Yeah.
Supper.
So that is all of your turns. So now the targs get to go. And you know what? I'm not going to pick on anyone in particular. I'm going to be diplomatic. I'm going to roll a d4. 1 will be a crack. 2 will be Dagon. 3 will be I.K.S. And 4 will be the good Colonel. So let's see who gets targed. Well, I think I.K.S. is our lucky winner.
Yeah, lucky.
It's okay.
All right.
You're a
I
medic.
fixed it up
You're a
myself.
medic. You're fine. Yeah.
I'm fine.
Well,
I,
you were asking how much damage a target can do. Now you're
the
about
answer,
to find
I will,
out.
Right,
the
right.
answer is I will learn firsthand.
That's it.
All right, so melee combat is a little bit different than ranged combat because in melee combat, it's not like D&D where it's like, oh, I rolled a hit, okay, I hit. Now it's the enemy's turn. They rolled a hit, okay, they hit. It all happens kind of in a moment, if you will. So, since you are being targeted, Donut, you are going to be rolling a daring and a security at a difficulty of 1. The targ is also rolling at the same roll. The difference is whoever rolls the highest is the one that is going to inflict injury or damage on the other.
Oh, so in this case, you do want to go high.
Yes. So in this instance, you do want to be spending for extra die. You do want to be leveraging focuses. You do want to be making sure that you are the victor in the opposed roll. So just because this is the basically tutorial fight, I'm just going to roll the 2d20 and I'll let you decide. So if we expand that out, we see that that was a 1 and a 20. So that is 2 successes and a complication on the part of the targ. So in order to inflict damage onto the targ, I need to see 3 successes here.
Which would mean I need to roll at least 1 more die than I would be otherwise, correct?
Correct. Now, again, you haven't spent your determination yet, so if you want to spend your determination, you could start with 2 successes.
That sounds pretty good. I might do that. And I'm trying to think what else I could, if there's any of my focuses. I do have one, which I believe it is a combat focus, but I have to look it up because I don't have it linked.
If you click it, it should expand, or if you click the com badge, it'll put it in chat.
You also have the value that you can challenge, sizes and everything.
Well, that's for the determination, yeah.
Yeah. So, for determination, is determination linked to a value or a focus?
To a value.
Value.
Oh, okay. Then I could do sizes and everything. Is that even though I'm smaller, I am mighty and not going to get wrecked by our lunch meat.
Could chiropractic count in combat?
Chiropractic, yeah. Can I snack its spine?
I find it funny, sure.
Yeah, can I use chiropractic to harm rather than help? That'll be what I.
That or Makbara. I think both would apply.
That's what I said too. I was thinking Makbara, but chiropractic was right above it. So yeah, I guess whichever one of those we want to tie to the determination.
I love this burgeoning combat chiropractor.
Yeah, well, look, if I can address your spine to make you feel better, that means I know how to mess up their spines to make them feel worse.
Exactly.
Okay, so if I do that, that gives me 3. Oh, I get 2 successes already. I start with 2. So I click the little one next to my determination.
Yes, you would click the 1 go away, and then when you roll perform task, you're going to check the using determination value in that pop-up menu.
Okay, so I use determination. Okay, the complication range is still
1.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Okay, so that is 3 total successes.
Nice.
That means you succeed, and you actually hit them with your dagger. So you have the option again. You can either hit perform challenge and put in 3, or you can click the little com badge next to the dagger on your character sheet.
I'm going to click the com badge.
Okay. So that looks to be 1 effect, and it is Vicious 1, so you deal 2 damage to the targ. So let me just make a note of that here. So basically, narratively, what this means is the targ comes charging down the corridor, leaps at you with its tucks glimmering in the low light. You bring up your dictag dagger, and you catch the tusk with the blade, and you fling it to the ground. You don't do a whole lot of damage, but you definitely deflected the attack, which is what mattered.
Too bad I didn't take dentistry as one of my focus. Missed opportunity.
The shadowy world of the Klingon dental agency.
Look, I've got ideas now, fam.
Back in my Star Trek Online days, I was in Starfleet Dental. It was great.
Oh, God. All right, well, the enemy has gone. We're going to go back to the players. So by my count, we still have Mori and we still have I.K.S that could go here.
Okay. I I certainly don't mind trying to follow up the momentum of not getting mauled just now.
Finish him.
You got it.
All right,
Stomp
all right,
the head.
all right. Now I'm gonna go snap that neck. So
Yeah.
so we can have dinner. Yeah.
Sweep the leg. Sweep the leg.
All right, so
RKO out of nowhere.
So if you are you meleeing or are you gonna pull out your disruptor pistol here?
will the disruptor pistol like not blow up, but like make it so we can't eat it?
If you fire lethally and do enough damage, yes.
All right. Well, we should have at least one dinner, right? So I'll stick with the dagger, I guess.
Okay.
Because then I also figure, yeah, we can stick with the dagger. I figure we have to make sure we come back with snacks.
Okay. So that's going to be another daring security at a difficulty of 1. And just for suspense sake, I'm going to wait to roll to see how many successes the target gets.
Nice.
All right, so daring, security, and perform task, right? And just
Yes.
let it go 2 dice in the pool, right? Okay, here we go.
Unless you want to spend momentum for more. Because remember, it's an opposed test.
Oh,
If, actually, before that happens, a question. If
Yes.
if we want to attempt to assist, is that our action? Like we have
That
to
is
do
your
it.
action for the round, yes.
All right.
all right. I might grab a momentum just to round this out.
Okay.
Done.
Because I feel like we capped them a lot. So I will make that a 3.
Okay, that is 3 successes, meaning the targ has to double crit here. So, let's see what happens. Let's check. That 15 is a 4 and 11, not a double crit. So yes, you are successful with your attack. Go ahead and roll me some damage. All right, so we are now at 4 damage after accounting for your effect there, because you have Vicious 1, which means you get 1 + 1, so you're doing 4 damage here. Again, 5 is the magic number here. So what you have the option of doing is you can either give me 1 momentum for 1 more damage, or you could give me 1 momentum to reroll as many of those d6s as you wish.
I think 1 momentum for 1 damage to take this guy out of the commission. I think that's good, fam. We good? We agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, do that one.
All right, describe how you take down the target.
All right, I take my dagger and I hold it up and I slice it right across down its spine and just sever its spinal cord.
Nice.
Well, that target isn't going
Nice.
anywhere.
That way we preserve the meat
There you go.
for an honorable feast afterwards.
Mhm.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, that means it is the target's turn again. And once again, I will be diplomatic and I will roll. Hey,
me.
look at that. A crack. You are our lucky winner. So if you could roll me your daring security, since I'm the one doing the attacking, I'm actually going to give the targ an additional die.
Yeah.
Let's expand that 31 out.
I'll give
So-
myself an additional die as well for momentum.
Okay. They've succeeded with 2 successes, so I will need to see 3 from you here.
Okay. I do
we
have-
get momentum when, like for example, I.K.S had 3 successes? Do we regain 2 momentum because it was a difficulty 1?
The difference is if the targ were to roll 2 successes, then you would only get 1 back because it's how many extra you
Okay.
have against your opponent.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I do have melee weapons focus. Daring, security. I'll be okay with the 3. Let's do it. I got it.
Okay,
Nice.
there's your 3. And yeah, you may now roll some damage.
Alrighty.
Okay. How would you like to take down the targ?
Yeah, it'll charge at me. Do one of those leaps for my throat, and I'll just like bend down and grab it, and just take the duck tog and slice it around its underbelly as it's trying to jump all up on me, and I'll just throw it on the ground, and then turn back to the ones that are coming and go, "Rah!" Just do a nice Klingon battle cry.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, I believe Maury, you're the only one that hasn't acted yet.
How many targs are left?
There are 1. Yeah, there's just 1 remaining because you disrupted 1. Honasto got 1. A crack just got another. So yeah, there's just 1 target remaining.
And melee was daring security, right?
Correct. And remember, aiming does apply to melee if you want to melee it.
And I can still aim and melee in the same turn, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna... You know what? Someone's gotta show off a little bit here. Not anyone can wield a clumsy disruptor. A skilled warrior can use a blade to take down their enemy. A true warrior needs only their hands. I'm gonna sheath this targ, aim for the remaining targ, take a stance, and rely on my aim and a judo focus to try to use its own momentum against it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. Daring security.
And I'm gonna take that momentum. Sorry to drain the pool, but this is gonna be awesome if it works. All right.
Survey says 4 successes. That is significant. Again, I don't think... Yeah, I'm just going to roll the targ for momentum purposes here. Wow. Okay. You only get 1 momentum back because the targ got 3 successes there. So good job getting the 4. So yeah, go ahead and roll me some damage. And you would check the com badge next to unarmed strike.
Yep.
Okay. How are you taking down the targ? Because you definitely take it down.
Kill it. I believe in you. You got it.
Oh, did we disconnect?
Sorry, I keep forgetting I'm on push to talk. How many tusks does a targ have?
I believe it has 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotta wait for the last possible second. Grasp it by the tusks. Dip down at the hips. Throw the thing over my back. Slam it. And not let go of the tusks. And twist. And we're gonna aim for a couple of good little spinal crack pops to sever that column then and there.
Love it. So yeah, you take down the targ, and it whimpers and then just kind of goes limp and is knocked out technically. But yeah, at this point, that's the entire combat sequence. It'll go much quicker now that we know the rules and know what we can do. But that's how quick combat can be in Star Trek Adventures. Is just literally 1 round if you do it right. But yeah, so you all are now in the corridor. There's the scent of freshly spilled blood in the air. Some of you have been more valorous and Klingon-like than others, but that's roleplay for you all to discuss.
Gonna tap my comm badge. Mori 2 ship's cook. Send us a shore party to secure dinner.
And they reply back that they will be there post-haste.
Excellent.
Does this feed enough? Does this feed everybody? Like, I don't know the dinner to targ ratio.
It
Let's
feeds
just say you'll
us.
be eating good.
All right.
It feeds enough of the crew. How much of the tenderloins are left for us? Well, that is our kill to discern.
Well, we get the heart because we killed it.
We are the hearts.
I
I don't
assume.
want to be the heart of the targ. We just killed them.
The hearts of warriors.
That's better.
I assume we don't have to specify to the crew not to take our earned hearts from these targets.
They know. They're Klingon.
They know what's up. All right, good.
Let them try if they think
Okay,
they
yeah.
can.
Cool. With those dead, we'll allow the rest
Move
of the...
into the station.
However,
here.
can we,
continue moving.
just for funsies, is there any way to tell if these are modern targ or old-timey targs?
Well, if you'd like to roll me a reason medicine at a
I
difficulty
would,
of 1.
because now I'm getting a little concerned if there's time shenanigans.
I mean, they are dry age target at this point.
But yeah, reason medicine, difficulty of 1. So I have good news and I have bad news. The good news, I guess, technically, is that these are contemporary targs, so these are not time shenanigan targs. There's a sentence. The complication, however, is going to be that when you make the scan, something in the corridor ahead of you around the corner surges with chronotons and is going to actually burn out your medical tricorder.
Oh, heck.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
All right, guys, just don't get injured. It's fine.
Okay, just go grab a replacement from the ship.
Yeah, how far away from the ship are? Yeah, can
Still-
we tell the crew coming to get the targs to bring a replacement?
Yeah.
If you
And
spend
also-
one momentum, I will let that happen.
Why are we not just hitting it?
Percussive maintenance. I don't know if that works.
I mean, you're Klingon, so...
I mean, it might work. Can I try smacking it back, or is that?
To Dagon's chagrin.
So there's two ways we can handle this. If you want just a quick replacement one, that would just cost one momentum. If you want to create the advantage, and this is the teachable moment, you would spend 2 momentum, but this would basically be I spend 2 momentum to create the advantage that my tricorder is not only fixed, but it is now dampened against chronotons, if you see what I'm saying. So it's one of those things where you could just get another tricorder, or you could make your tricorder a little bit better. And when you create an advantage, it's kind of like you're the game master for a little bit. It costs 2 momentum or your determination, and as long as it sounds good, I usually let the advantage stay. But don't go too hard. Don't be like, oh, and I immediately become the
Right.
grandest Klingon there ever were to live. Like I am the second
God
coming of
mode here.
Klingon.
Nah, I already advised them, do not attempt to re-engineer your honor through the time stream. They know what's up.
So, which would you like to
Well,
do here?
If there are chronotons getting in the way of things, perhaps it would be prudent to protect ourselves further from any additional complications.
Indeed.
All
No,
right.
chat just gave me a momentum as well, so you would be at 3 before a spend.
Hey.
Oh, thank you, chat.
Good
Very
job, chat.
nice.
Thanks, chat.
Kalis would be
Indeed.
proud. Yeah, okay, so we'll do that. We'll spend the 2 momentum, and then the tricorder now will be protected against time shenanigans.
Cool.
The technical term.
So narratively, you quite literally just kind of slap the side of your tricorder, maybe hit it against a wall, and then it just comes back to life.
Nice.
Hmm.
But glows may be a different color because now it's protected against
How do you
time.
say "a" in Klingon?
And I'm going to program my tricorder to dampen the chronotons.
All right. But yeah, you have a corridor ahead of you. Imagine a T-shaped juncture. The targs came from the right. The surge of chronotons came from the left.
I think that follow the chronotons. It may lead us towards Glorthar, if she's still here.
I would suspect, based on the history we're looking at, she is certainly involved somehow with the chronotons. It just doesn't make sense otherwise. Involved good or bad, knowledgeable or not. I think there is definitely something connected.
We certainly do not have much of a record of the use of targs as weapons, as we have simply disproven their use case. We must indeed find the source of this.
Perhaps it is simply a test of our metal. But I'm sure that the answers will be revealed as we continue. Keep weapons out, just in case. Yeah, I guess we'll advance.
Okay. So just to clarify, left or right?
I'll say left towards chronotons. I think it's probably.
Yep.
Okay. So
We'll just check periodically. Just peek back every now and then to make sure more wildlife aren't going after us.
Okay, that has been noted. So you take a left, and after a little bit of walking, you enter into a large spherical chamber that is filled with scientific equipment that you don't recognize off the top of your head. If someone would like to roll me a reason engineering at difficulty of 3, I might be
Ooh, I
able
can
to
do
tell
that.
you
Hey,
what this
Dagon.
equipment's for.
That's all you,
That
buddy.
sounds like a
Three,
deal.
though.
Don't be dagging your feet, dagging.
Nice.
Also, since you created the advantage to dampen your tricorders against chronotons, I'm actually going to lower the difficulty to 2.
Nice.
Oh. I'm still going to use a momentum for an extra dice,
Okay?
if that's okay with everybody, because it's the last
Yeah.
momentum that we have.
Go for it.
3.
You'll super succeed. We'll get some back. No issues.
Investment.
Yeah, look at him go.
Oh, yeah.
Successes. There you go,
Aw,
getting you 2
sweet.
momentum back. So, what you learn is that this equipment can be used to generate chronotons and more or less shoot them out into space. And since you succeeded so well, I'll also tell you is that this equipment is in severe disrepair, to the point that you would have to bring significant replacement parts from your vessel in order to prevent a full shutdown. And that shutdown is merely maybe 30 minutes, if that, away.
So, not saying that we have to do anything with it now, but is this thing portable? Can we get this thing intact back onto the ship?
You would have to spend some effort and time, but theoretically you could do so.
How long does this appear like it's been here? Like, does it seem like it's been here for years, or is this like someone dropped in and put this in like 5 days ago?
I'll give this to you free. This is something that is contemporary with the outpost and the wreckage that you encountered earlier. So this is Glorythar era equipment.
Okay.
How long do I estimate would it take to repair it?
Well,
Bringing
if you
parts
had
in
enough
from the
parts and enough time and enough extra hands, this is something you'd be working on for maybe the better part of a month.
Got
So
it.
no.
Okay, so it's not easily repairable. Got it.
Correct.
All right. So we have something to look forward to in a half an hour then.
Right.
But yeah,
So I guess we-
what I should say is that
yeah.
there are 2 more points, 2 more corridors that lead out of this room. One leads to a hydroponics dome, if you want to check that out. The other one leads off into the darkness, and you can see that the lighting has been dimmed even further down this other second corridor.
Okay.
We can't still hear, like, we're not hearing anything else, like no other like people or critters or anything, any indicator that the oracle or time shades or animals are here.
Correct.
All right, let's take the dark corridor. I don't think we need to see the hydroponics. I think going to the center of the station is probably the best place to
I
find.
think most likely. If we're yeah,
Find the oracle there.
yeah. That's
Unless
the
she's
mission.
unless she's having a nice salad for lunch, which would be
Or meditating.
That
yeah,
would be
sure.
that would be totally dishonorable.
meditating. Less so. Meditating.
Very, very Klingon.
Salad less so.
Yeah. Why don't we just go into the darkness? We have the Klingon equivalent of flashlights.
You do, but you probably don't need them because
Oh, cool.
what happens is as you get closer, you begin to smell burning incense that's kind of hanging heavily in the air. And you enter into a octagonal shape, so kind of a stop sign shaped room. And you see that there are banners with ancient Klingon symbols covering the walls. There are a myriad of candles that are flickering amid the gloom. And you notice 2 very important things. The first is that there's a dozen Targ around the room that are being held in place by heavy leashes. In the middle of the room is the bent form of an elderly Klingon woman as she meditates silently in the center of this temple. At her feet are a batleth and a mechleth. Both are finely crafted. And for her part, she seems to be in deep meditation. Her shoulders are rising and falling slowly, and she makes no movement or indication that you are there as you approach and enter into this temple.
All right.
Let us
And all
approach.
of the targs appear to be secure.
They
Does
do,
it look
yes.
like there were any missing, or like any leashes that were missing Targs? That these might have been where our runaways came
Yeah.
from.
Let's say that, yeah, along the northwestern side of the room, there are some snapped leashes.
Gotcha.
Snapped but not opened, right?
Correct.
Like they escaped. Okay, so like that they freaked out and escaped and went after us. Not that they were like free roaming. Okay.
Can we have a look at those leashes? Like, were they worn from age, worn from stress, worn from somebody slashing a little bit at them?
Well, you can either give me 1 momentum, or you could do an insight security at a difficulty of 1.
Let's insight that security.
You would be able to tell that it was a combination of age and stress. So, since these targs are contemporary, meaning she must have been breeding them, it must have just been the case that over time, just the targs pulling at the leash, just sort of worn at the material, and eventually it just sort of snapped.
Normal wear and tear, in other words.
Yes.
Got it.
Do the rest of the targs look hungry?
I mean, they look at you as you approach, but none of them, like, strain at their leashes to get at you.
Cool. All right, I guess we'll approach a little bit. I'm assuming she's just doing meditation. If we get closer, I'll be like, Glorthar, we have come seeking your words of wisdom.
And her eyes slowly open, and when she speaks, it's with a raspy voice, which, let me take a drink so I can actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
The temporal anomalies in the asteroid field tested your wits, and my targs tested your mettle, and you have proven yourselves worthy. Welcome to my temple, yet you will be the last to receive the blessing of Glorithar, the Oracle of Barkarth Reach, for my song is nearly complete. Why have you come to see me? And because we're up on time, that's where we're going to end our session and make this a part 2.
Nice. All right.
Always got to end on a cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, I thought that went really well.
Nice.
Super well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm already getting good vibes from this group, which is always a good thing. But yeah, moving forward, this will be a weekly game so long as scheduling can be combated.
Yep.
And anything anybody want to say to Twitch chat or anybody listening before I sign us off?
Hi, Twitch chat. I'm waving, but you can't see it.
Can we plug our respective stuff or not here?
If you want to plug something, go for it.
All right. Check us at the Retro Weather Channel. It's the Weather Channel with real time data as if it's from the 90s. I'll drop a link. But yeah, because Donut doesn't want to plug her project.
I'll plug my YouTube channel.
Go for it.
I do video game cover music.
Ooh. What kind?
Ooh.
Woodwind specialty.
Ooh.
I will post
Love
it.
it.
Please hold.
Interesting.
Awesome. All right. Well, Twitch chat, stick around because we're going to raid somebody, but YouTube, this is where we'll say goodbye. So see you later, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Later,
Bye,
YouTube. I
YouTube.
love you.